Welcome to this, the first in a series called Time to Breathe, a series of 7 meditations to celebrate the mystery and the mechanism of the breath. So just being here, arriving to begin this meditation is proof positive that the universe right now supports us through the air we breathe, through the earth and the plants and the different ways in which we share the support of life. In fact, breath and life are really just one package. So right now, to begin, just allowing your attention to open and spread into an awareness of how the rhythmic cradling rise and fall of the breath moves through. 3 or 4 breaths just to center and settle into. A breath-centered way of organizing your attention. And if your mind skips off, as it will, inevitably, wanders off or is distracted in some way, that's fine. That's one of the wonders to celebrate about the breath, that every next one comes with a complete reboot option. So it's okay. When I suggest a task and your attention is not able to hold until the end of the... Doesn't matter, it's neither here nor there. Thankfully. We breathe on anyway. So keeping that soft focus, just to remind you that the aim is not in any way to control, or even particularly in this session to pace the breathing. But more particularly to work with your attention in relation to the manifold of sensations that form the field of awareness. We hope through the discipline to create a depth of experience that's utterly enriching the deeper you go into the sensations of the rhythm of the breath, the rise and fall. So continue to allow your attention right now to play freely with all the different sensations and your attention can do this. It can create a space of time. We could say a dozen breaths ish, not a really. But as your attention plays freely with these sensations, you might like to sort of play the game of considering of them all as they are in this moment, what sensations are coming out the most vivid. There are obvious movements in the belly and the flanks and the rise and fall, the chest. But there's also the movement of air through the nostrils, maybe the mouth, but hopefully the nostrils. Warmth, coolness, movement. So be firm with yourself, but gentle to bring yourself back to that task. Should your mind and attention skip off or become distracted, it's okay. Bring it back for a next space of a dozen breaths will be fine. So as you maintain that soft, receptive, open quality of attention and keep it playing on the breath or anchored by the breath, that deepening of experience brings one to understand more of the workings, the mechanism. But as that opens up, it also deepens the mystery of the breath. That no one can create or make a breath. And as you continue to be open and receptive and watchful, check out the fact that every single breath and the millions of them that are now in the bow wave of your life behind you are all completely and subtly different, in the same way that the waves on the shore can be similar, but they're all unique. So to make a particular effort of attention to allow those ripples in the pool of sensations as you open to receive them could circle out and just bring in to your attention the support that's around your body, your support structure right now. And in particular, we could consider how the support from the spine as the central rod, or we call it a column of support, is working, and the attachment of the ribs. So there's a whole backdrop of structured support as the activity of the breath while you're sitting upright and still. There's still movement, and that movement changes shape. It deforms, transforms, reforms itself with each breath in an ongoing way. So if you were to guide your attention now and focus in particular on the sensations around the nostrils, it's important that the mechanism for achieving that inflow of breath comes through the nostrils and not through the mouth. It warms, it nutrifies, it moistens in a way that a breath taken through the mouth can't. And the nostrils have a particular reflex that widens them to take in the breath. They're sometimes thought of as wings, like the wings of a bird. They lift in a particular kind of reflex way to receive the in-breath. Staying with the softness and the openness and the receptive quality there, you could shift your attention through to your base of support, either seat bones or feet, or both, wherever that support is right now. Those sensations might be pressure, skin to bone, texture, warmth, coldness, sometimes even pain and discomfort. But as your attention has moved from the nostrils to the seat bones, the sensations of and movement of the nostrils haven't gone away. It's simply that your attention was drawn away from them, but they haven't disappeared. You're no longer conscious or present for them, but they're still there in the field of awareness. In this first of the meditations, it's important to emphasize that the discipline we're exploring in this series is not in any sense to do something to control the breath, but to bring attention in such a way that it can act like a kind of spotlight or laser beam of light. And it's simply that mechanism of attention that you do actually have control over, supreme control over. And it's playing within the field of awareness, which is vast and infinite. And the more deeply you experience it, the more disciplined you are, the easier it becomes to celebrate the life-affirming, life-giving, life-carrying nature of the breath in this moment. So when your attention moves in that way, you're present for certain things, and when your attention moves off somewhere else, you're no longer conscious of those, but they're still there in the field. And that's organized very much from ancient evolutionary survival, a constant and very low-level filtering of sights, sounds, and smells. And they will, caring and looking after you as they do, draw your attention if there is some kind of imminent danger that you have to respond to preserve life and limb. Continue to take a little block of time, and this time allow your attention to always be present to sensations around both nostrils at the time in the cycle of the beginning of the in-breath. And without losing or excluding that awareness of sensations around the nostrils, consider the whole extraordinary surface of the skin. Your skin breathes, especially in very early infancy. The skin can take in of the order of 20% of the oxygen needs. So it's a membrane that is able to enhance what the lungs can do. But just take a little time to touch in with the way that there is a global aspect. And within that, the many hairs that are on the skin are also very sensitive to the movement of air around. That air that's diffuse, and sometimes there are drafts and currents that move it around, but it changes, it's transformed when that air and oxygen around enters into the directed current of the breath. And while you take that in, just consider that of the millions and millions of breaths that have brought you to this point now, that within that bow wave of life behind you, you've breathed through every high point, every low point, and all points of boredom and ennui. The thrill of a first kiss, the extraordinary depth of sadness when you're holding the hand of a loved one whose life has come to an end, coming to an end. The holding of new life for the first time. So as we come to an end of this session, let's close with a deep sense of accomplishment. 20 minutes of time that's really about self-care, kindness to oneself, and a chance to use and appreciate life as it's carried by the breath. And to end with a sense of the vitalizing, energizing, nutrifying way in which, if there is nothing else that you could feel you could be grateful for in your life, you could be grateful for the next breath. And let that, at the end of this session, as your attention goes back to daily preoccupations and challenges and demands, let that also create an anticipation of a return to this inward focus. So we'll finish there with the thought that there is no such thing as a bad meditation. Only one bad meditation is the one that you don't turn up for because you're too busy. Your attention feels that other things take priority. So hopefully, as we develop this, you can come back and create some kind of a sense of return and routine. Great. On with the rest of the day.